Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a video called The Ultimate Guide to the O-Level Oral Exam. This is part number 1. There will definitely be a part 2. There might even be a part 3. You might be that lucky or that unfortunate. Now what we're going to do today is, here are your learning objectives. Number 1, we're going to review some vocabulary that you guys have been studying for the last couple of weeks. You should know these by now. And then number 2 is we're going to recall the structure of the O-Level Oral Exam to make sure that you are ready when your exam takes place in a few weeks' time. And then number 3, we're going to consider some preparation strategies, how you can use the preparation time that you have in the oral exam. Okay, you know that you've got some preparation time, right? I'm sure you do. We'll talk about it a bit more in a minute. And then number 4, you're going to practice responding to a past paper question. Okay, you're going to do some audio recording on your magical calculators. So to begin with, I want to start with this retrieval practice. There are 3 words there. One of them is the word emblem. Another one is provocation, and the third one is awe. Okay, pause the video and go and write down in your books with a title, underlining the date and the heading, making sure your English book is your neatest book. Can you please write down each of these words and then write down a synonym next to them? Pause the video, come back when you're done. Go on, pause it, go on. I hope you did that. Now let's go through the words very quickly. The word awe is connected to the word awesome, and that means a sense of reverential respect, maybe combined with fear, when you really respect something and you think it's incredible. The second word is provocation, and provocation is from the word family of the verb to provoke. And to provoke is to stimulate somebody or to seek a reaction from somebody by doing something annoying or frustrating or trying to get on their nerves. Usually the word provoke has a negative connotation. And the third word is the word emblem. Emblem is similar to a symbol. You can have an emblem of a nation. You can have an emblem of an organization. You can have an emblem of a family, for example. So it's like a sign or a symbol. Okay, come on, and let's move on. Let's move on. Now, I'm going to ask you 3 questions about the structure of the oral exam. Let's check your memory, check your understanding, because most of you have done this before. And if you haven't done it before, then you have most certainly studied it in class with me before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the question to you. You're then going to pause the video and you're going to pretend that you're in class. You're going to pretend you're speaking to your friend who's sitting next to you, even though they're not. And you're going to answer the question. And then after that, I will show you the answer. So let's see how it goes. Here's the first question. How many marks are available for the oral exam? Pause the video and answer it out loud. Go on. What did you say? Did you say, 30? If you did, then you're correct. Well done. There are 30 marks available. If you didn't get it right, chill. It's okay. No problem. Next question says, name the 2 assessed tasks in the O-Level English oral exam. Pause the video. Pause the video. Did you do that? I hope so. The answer is the speech and the conversation. The speech and the conversation. So the first part, you will be speaking for 2 minutes, uninterrupted. The examiner will not ask you anything. And the second part is a conversation between you and the examiner, in which you will have to answer a series of questions asked by the examiner. Third question, are you ready? Here it is. How much preparation time are you given? Pause the video. You done that? I hope so. How much preparation time are you given? 2 minutes. You're given 2 minutes to prepare. Remember that you're not allowed a pen. You're not allowed to write anything down. And you only have 1 period of preparation time for both the speech and the conversation. Okay, cool. Come on then, let's move on. This is a past paper question. Authentic, original, real, straight from Cambridge. Okay, it says, talk for 1 to 2 minutes about a date in the year that is important to you. So now you would have to speak. Lol, as it says on the question, for 1 to 2 minutes about a date in the year that is important to you. I would like you to focus upon trying to speak for 2 minutes. That's going to give you a better chance of upping your score. But of course, anything between 1 to 2 minutes is acceptable according to the marking scheme. Okay, so pause the video now and just have a think about what you would say if this was the question that was put to you. Did you do that? I hope so. We're going to come back to this question a little bit later on, so don't forget. Now, how should we use our preparation time? Remember that in the exam, the examiner will give you 2 minutes of silent preparation time in which you can begin to think about the questions that are on your test paper. But what would you do in that period of time? You're not allowed to write anything. You're not allowed to write a plan. So I want to share some strategies with you. Okay, on the left-hand side of that screen, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions that you can ask yourself. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay, if we go back to the question says talk for 1 to 2 minutes about a date in the year that is important to you. So the first thing you might ask is when? When is that date? And why? Why is it important to you? Where? Where do you go on that date? What do you do on that date? Who or with whom do you do that thing on that special date? These questions can be used to think up some ideas in response to the question that the examiner will ask you. And on the right-hand side, you have structure about, well, in your oral exam, I want you to do the same with your speaking. So you begin by saying what you're talking about. I'm going to speak about a day that is very significant and very important to me. Key point number 1. And then you're going to explain it. You're going to provide lots of details and lots of explanation about your key points. So you might say that the day that's very important to me is my birthday. And now you need to explain why. It's a very important day in the year because it's an opportunity for me to give thanks for another year of my life having passed. And it's a day in which my friends and my family make a big fuss of me. So it makes me feel special, loved, and important. And then you're going to have a linker. So then you're going to say, furthermore, I also enjoy my birthday because it's an opportunity for me to go out to a restaurant with my family and my friends. I don't get to do that very often. And so on my birthday, I really cherish the opportunity to go and eat with the people that I love and care about and to celebrate and to have a good time and to create some good memories with each other. Okay, and then each time you move from one key point to the next, you want to use a linker. In addition to that, or another reason why, because this shows that your speech has structure. Okay, and structure is very important, not just to me, but also to the examiners. So on the left-hand side, you've got your who, what, when, where, why, and how questions that you can ask yourself. And on the right-hand side, you have a structure that you can use when you are speaking. Okay. Now, this slide here tells us about some of the strategies that I want you to use when you are giving a speech if you want to get a high mark. The first one is you need to have a clear structure. Didn't I just mention that? Yeah, I think I did. Use lots of linkers and go into lots of detail. Provide as much detail as possible. I also said that. Okay, and then the third one says fluency. Fluency is difficult to explain. It doesn't mean that you have to speak without pausing at all, because that's almost impossible. But it means that we want to try to keep the flow of the speech going. Let's try not to stop too much, pause too much. Try and keep the flow moving forward at all times. Try to use a wide range of vocabulary. What about the vocabulary journal words that we've been going over for the last 2 years? Drop some of those in there. Impress that examiner. Yeah. And then conditionals, passive voice and relative clauses. These are connected to grammar, and we're going to go over those in the next session. Speak slightly slower than you usually do, because that means you have more control over what you're saying, and hopefully your language will be a bit more accurate. And finally, be enthusiastic. Oh my goodness, there's nothing worse than when you're examining a student and they say, oh, I don't really know much about this subject, or I'm not too sure about this. That doesn't sound very positive, does it? That's not making a good impression upon the examiner. So be enthusiastic, man. Be positive. Do you know what I mean? Speak as though you're enjoying the experience and as though you're trying to do your very best. Okay, hopefully that would have a positive impact upon the examiner's perception of you. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, can you please write these on this slide in your book as well as these in your book, please? And make sure that it's neat and tidy. I don't like untidy books. Yeah, make sure your title is underlined. Make sure there's a date. I'll be checking this. I really will be. Can you write those down now? Pause the video. Go do that, please. Okay, I want you to go away and time yourself. Give yourself 2 minutes to prepare, to get some ideas together. You can use the who, what, when, where, why questions to get yourself some ideas going. And then after that, I want you to use the record function on your magical calculators so that you can record your voice answering this question. Try to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, try to speak for 2 minutes optimally. Don't pause. Go do it now. Go, go, go. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is our 1, 2, 3 plenary. Okay, can you please tell me 3 questions that you can ask yourself when you are preparing for a speech? And then can you tell me 2 strategies for succeeding in your speech? And finally, can you tell me one synonym for the word emblem?